I don't know what I was doing in my kitchen at a little after midnight. I may never know. What I ended up doing was taking a slug of milk straight from the carton as I looked out into the dark of my backyard. Maybe it was my lizard brain rattling through 10,000 years of development to slap my frontal lobe. There is something moving in your backyard. My eyes had caught a bit of movement in the far corner of my yard. My tired brain pushed it off as a bit of someone's laundry on a line. It took me way too long to realize it wasn't just a bit of cloth. It was Carol. I bent and spit my mouth full of milk into the sink and then hit the deck. The fridge was still ajar behind me. I shut it and left the milk on the counter. I only saw a flash of her, but my brain had picked out a surprising amount of detail. Carol was draped in a white sheet that didn't leave much to the imagination. Her limbs were odd. Her left leg turned in, so she struggled to walk. Her hands were curved into claws, possibly stuck that way. Her head tilted oddly on her neck. I tried not to think of the homeless guy she'd run over and instead formulate a plan. I crab crawled out of the kitchen and then ran upstairs to my wife. Sarah was asleep. The TV's pale light danced on her closed lids. I shook her arm. She was not happy that I woke her. Made a noise like,
"Bah!"
"Carol's back!" I hissed. Almost instantly, she was awake.
"Dang it!"
she said.
"That witch does not do us any favors, does she?"
I guess her friends found out she wasn't all that pure. My wife rolled out of bed and hopped into her jeans.
"That's it. I'm taking an axe to her. I don't care."
I shushed her. I told her about the state Carol was in, about the bushes I saw at the mansion. Sarah's eyes widened.
"If she's immortal or some crap like that, I'm gonna be so mad."
I nodded. Look, I might be wrong, but just in case I'm right, I don't want the girls here. Sarah's gaze dipped. I could tell she was thinking about how possessive Carol was about other people's children. Also, I said, I want to check on Kevin. I don't know if she came after us first, but if she did, she'll probably go after him next. Sarah frowned.
"So what do we do?"
Right now, I propose we get the girls and get the hell out of here.
"I do,"
Sarah said, kissing my hand. We let ourselves laugh a little. Katie was still asleep. She made a little murmuring noise as I picked her up.
"Daddy, what?"
Jillian, in her bed across the room, sat up. "Carol's back," I said. "Get your shoes. We're doing a runner." Jill blinked and rubbed the hair out of her eyes.
"God damn. Just call the cops."
She turned over and lay back down. Sarah walked in, tucking her pajama shirt into her waistband.
"We're going, young lady. Carol's turned into some weird half-tree, and I don't want either of you around her."
Jill rolled over.
Is she serious?
You want me to take pictures? I was wrapping Katie in a big fleece throw. Yes, we're going to Uncle Kev's house and we'll reconnoiter there. Jill must have realized how serious it was. She slipped on the Uggs she never wears out of the house. Katie stirred in my arms as we went downstairs.
"Daddy?"
It's okay, sweetie. Just be quiet for a minute, okay? The deadbolt clicked way too loud under my wife's hand. We shared a tense look as we gathered behind the front door. What if she was already out there? Jill had grabbed up the poker. Sarah held a hatchet in her free hand. The door swung wide, and our front lawn was free and clear. We wasted no time in surrounding the car. I unlocked the door and then hit the switch to unlock the rest, as the fob would have made the car beep. I settled Katie in and told Jill to help her buckle. My wife got in the passenger seat. I skipped around to get in the driver's side, waiting to put the key in until everyone was settled. Half asleep, Katie slammed her door. We all jumped. A thick, heavy thudding came from behind the house. Carol's gruesome mug floated over the backyard fence. She was so much worse in close-up. Her eyes had retreated back in her head so that you couldn't see the whites, just dark iris surrounded by baggy flesh. Twigs stuck out of her hair. Her mouth was the worst, though. It looked like it had healed over and then began to rip open again. She had no lips, just jagged flesh as she yelled.
David! David Benjamin Wilson, you get back here right now.
I started the ignition and slammed into reverse. I turned until we were parallel with the house, and with my free hand, I flipped Carol the bird.
You naughty boy!
She was still struggling with the gate latch. Her hands weren't just crooked, they looked like tree roots.
You naughty, naughty boy!
Something about that phrasing, about how she wouldn't swear even at times like this, just made it more disturbing than anything else she could have said. Hooting, I sped out of our cul-de-sac and onto the open road. Katie had buckled around her blanket.
Where are we going, Dad?
We're going to warn Kevin that his mom's back. Maybe plan what to do after that. I might drop you off with Grandma for a while. Jill crossed her arms.
How did she get back?
Hard to say. They might have let her go, or she might have broken out on her own. Either way, I don't like it.
She was scary.
Katie was shivering. I put my hand on the seat back. Don't worry, honey. Whatever she is, I won't let her get you. Jill was silent, watching out the car window. The streets were nearly deserted.
I want her to die.
She blurted out.
I don't care how bad that sounds. I thought she was going to die when we left her.
Me too, sweetie.
My wife was rapidly texting Kevin.
But we'll handle it, don't worry.
But you always say that, and then nothing gets done.
Sarah and I exchanged a look. I raised my hand. I promise, on my honor as a father, that we would take care of her tonight. If we don't, you get free pick of any family of equal or lesser value. Jill tried not to smile and punched my headrest. It took us 20 minutes to get to Kevin's house. He was waiting outside in his robe. As we got out of the car, he talked to my daughters.
Okay, girls. You're going to go with Tanya.
He said, pointing to where his girlfriend sat in her idling car. Tanya gave us a friendly wave.
You're going to go over to her mum's place. I made sure they'll have enough space for you while we talk it over. You'll be safe with her. Okay?
Jill looked from them to me. My wife stepped forward and gave them each a hug.
You girls be good,
She said.
and we'll bring donuts in the morning.
I looked at Kevin. Actually, I was going to suggest my mom's place. Kevin shook his head.
New orders came in. We'll talk inside.
I waved the girls off. Jill didn't look thrilled to be cut out of the excitement, but I knew they'd be safer away from us at the moment. Once we were seated around Kevin's table, coffee in hand, we started talking.
I told your mum what you told me,
Kevin began.
and she wants to deal with it. All of it. She said as soon as she gets off the phone, she would call the uncles. Maybe Ellie and Ty, if it comes to that.
I was kind of hoping to deal with this, I don't know, legally. She'll make it disappear. Kevin sipped his coffee agitatedly. I don't know where she's been, but she would only come back for one reason. To make us all miserable. Kevin.
No,
He said.
you don't know her like I do. It's all she lives for. It's like she literally can't ever be happy. I'm sure she just disappeared to spite us somehow.
Sarah and I exchanged a look. Then I did something I should have done a long time ago. I told him what we'd done. Kevin looked down at the table, nodded at us. When we got to the mansion, he got it from the table. By the time we let the men in white take Carol, he was pacing. And by the time we got back, we were in shock. I said. And after a while, it just seemed better not to say anything. Someone might have felt obligated to look for her then.
You're damn right.
Kevin was breathing heavy. Kevin, I'm not...
No,
Kevin pointed at me.
no. You should have told me. I would have looked for her. I would have found that place and I would have shot her. I would have made sure she could never come back.
We let that sink in. Kev, I said. Not only would I not want you alone with her ever again, killing her isn't worth potentially losing you. Kevin let out a laugh that sounded like a sob.
It's true.
Sarah stood up and touched his arm.
I know you want to kill your mom. We all do. But there's no reason we have to be isolated on this.
I told Kevin Bob's anecdote. You see, we're not talking, Goddess. We have to move as a unit now, if we want her to go down once and for all. Kevin's eyes were wet. He rubbed them.
Well, good. Because your mum called a war party. Her words, not mine. We're all supposed to meet at Uncle Bob's house.
You'll come with us, right?
Sarah tugged on his hand.
Right in our car.
Kevin blinked.
If I stay here, I could distract her.
Don't even, I said. You try that cliche bullshit, I'll tell your girlfriend you died choking on a mud lump. Kevin laughed, which sounded weird with his snotty nose. He gave us each a hug. We grabbed up some tools and away we went. Next stop, Uncle Bob's house.